Tonight, the world of love and hip-hop has been shaken to its very core. Fans everywhere are clutching their pearls, scrolling furiously, and whispering the same question in disbelief. Is this really the end for Kirk and Rasheeda? After years of scandals, betrayals, secret children, and those infamous on-screen confrontations, the couple who once seemed unbreakable is facing the final curtain call. Yes, you heard it right. Divorce papers have been signed, and the Harris household is crumbling in real time. What makes this story even more shocking is not just the divorce itself, but the explosive reasons behind it. Sources close to the family claim that Rasheeda has finally had enough of Kirk's endless affairs, a phrase now circulating like wildfire across social media. Fans are outraged, devastated, and divided. Some say Rasheeda deserves peace, after enduring so much heartache, while others wonder if this is just another messy chapter in a saga that never ends. And let's not forget, this isn't just about two people splitting up. This is about the legacy they built together, the children caught in the middle, the businesses, the brand, the empire that's been intertwined with drama since day one. How do you divide not only assets but years of pain, loyalty, and betrayal? As insiders leak never-before-heard details, whispers of heated late-night arguments, slammed doors, and even shocking new allegations are painting a picture of chaos behind closed doors. Fans are already calling it the most scandalous breakup in love and hip-hop history, and honestly, it might just be. So buckle up, because tonight we're diving deep into the heartbreak, the lies, the confrontations, and the shocking revelations that led Rasheeda to make the hardest decision of her life. From emotional breakdowns to secret confessions, from family members picking sides to fans demanding answers. This isn't just a divorce, it's a full-blown reality TV earthquake. And trust me, you won't believe how it all went down. The news of Kirk and Rasheeda's divorce didn't just hit the blogs, exploded like a bomb across every corner of social media. Fans had grown used to rumors about their marriage, but this time, it wasn't just whispers. This time, there were papers filed, receipts floating online, and insiders who swore on their lives that Rasheeda was finished for good. People who once rooted for them as the power couple of love and hip-hop now found themselves stunned into silence. Others shouted finally, while some clung to the hope that this was just another publicity stunt. But behind the cameras, behind the carefully curated Instagram posts, the truth was far messier than anyone could have imagined. It all started late one night, when Rasheeda was spotted leaving a restaurant in Atlanta alone, her face hidden under oversized sunglasses and a hoodie pulled so tight she looked like she wanted to disappear. Paparazzi caught her rushing to her car, ignoring every question. Fans noticed her wedding ring was missing. By the next morning, gossip sites were in full meltdown mode. Headlines screamed, "Rasheeda dumps Kirk after explosive fights. Affairs finally catch up to Kirk. Divorce imminent for love and hip-hop's messiest couple." And for once, the speculation wasn't wrong. Inside their home, the atmosphere was nothing short of chaos. Friends close to the couple described nights filled with shouting matches, phones being snatched out of hands, and endless accusations flying back and forth. "You think I'm stupid, Kirk?" Rasheeda's voice cracked in one alleged confrontation. "You think I don't see the messages, the late-night calls, the way you disappear and pop back like nothing happened? How long do you expect me to keep pretending?" Kirk, defensive as ever, shot back with that same calm arrogance fans had seen on TV 100 times. "You always blow things out of proportion. It ain't even like that. People are always trying to tear us down." But Rasheeda wasn't buying it anymore. This wasn't just one rumor. This wasn't just one woman. It was years of humiliation, years of forgiving and forgetting, years of plastering on a smile for the cameras while her heart bled behind the scenes. She had reached her breaking point, and according to insiders, the breaking point came when she discovered messages that didn't just suggest cheating, they screamed it. Screenshots floating online showed flirty exchanges with multiple women, including one who hinted at having something to tell Rasheeda personally if Kirk didn't step up. The internet lit up with speculation. Was there another child? Was Kirk hiding something bigger than anyone expected? The drama spiraled further when Rasheeda's mother, Ms. Charlene, entered the picture. Known for never holding back, Charlene allegedly confronted Kirk in a heated showdown that could rival any love and hip-hop reunion. "You ain't never gonna change, Kirk," she spat, according to sources. "My daughter been through hell with you, and you just keep dragging her down. Do you even love her, or do you just love yourself?" Kirk, cornered and outnumbered, tried to maintain composure, but the walls were closing in. Fans know well that whenever Shalene steps in, things get explosive, and this time, she wasn't backing down. Meanwhile, their kids were caught in the middle of the storm. Family friends whispered about Rasheeda breaking down in tears, confessing she worried about how the divorce would affect them. "I don't want them to grow up thinking this is what love looks like," she allegedly sobbed to a close confidant. Her words struck fans deeply. The woman who had built an image of resilience, who had stood by her man through scandal after scandal, was finally admitting she had lost the fight. But Kirk wasn't ready to let go, not of the marriage, not of the empire, and certainly not of the image he had carefully built. Behind closed doors, he allegedly begged Rasheeda to reconsider. "We can work this out. We've been through worse," he pleaded, voice low but desperate. Rasheeda, however, stood firm. "Worse, Kirk, this is worse. Every time I forgive you, you find a new way to break me. I can't do this anymore. I won't." Fans didn't know the half of it until one jaw-dropping twist surfaced. One of the women Kirk had allegedly been involved with wasn't just a fling, she was someone from their inner circle. Whispers claimed she had been around the family, smiling in Rasheeda's face while sneaking around with Kirk behind her back. The betrayal cut deeper than anything Rasheeda had endured before. Bloggers exploded with the news. Hashtags like #TeamRASHEEDA and #KirkExposed trended for days, with thousands of fans rallying behind Rasheeda and demanding she finally free herself from the cycle. But not everyone sided with Rasheeda. Some of Kirk's loyal defenders argued that the media was blowing things out of proportion, that people were piling on him because of his past mistakes. "They love to hate Kirk," one fan tweeted. "He made mistakes, but he loves his wife. Let them work it out." Still, the overwhelming majority felt like this was the end game. Years of receipts couldn't be ignored anymore. As the days turned into weeks, Rasheeda began quietly removing Kirk's presence from her social media. Once loving couple photos disappeared, replaced by brand promotions and solo selfies. Fans noticed instantly. "Sis is erasing him like Thanos. Snapped his fingers," one comment read. Every action she took was scrutinized, dissected, and debated online. Kirk, on the other hand, went silent. For a man who often thrived on attention, the silence was deafening, and it only fueled more speculation. Behind the scenes, talks of lawyers, asset division, and custody agreements filled the air. Friends claimed Rasheeda was determined to protect her children and her businesses above all else. "I built this empire, brick by brick," she reportedly said. "Nobody's taking it from me. Not even Kirk." Those words became a rallying cry for fans who had long admired her hustle and independence. But just when it seemed like everything was clear, another shocking twist emerged. Kirk allegedly showed up unannounced at one of Rasheeda's business events, sparking a scene that had guests whispering for days. Witnesses described the tension as thick enough to choke on. Rasheeda tried to carry on with grace, greeting customers and smiling for photos, but Kirk's presence loomed like a shadow. At one point, he allegedly tried to pull her aside. Their whispered conversation turned into sharp words, then raised voices. "You can't just cut me out like I never mattered," Kirk hissed. Rasheeda, her patience stretched to the breaking point, fired back. "You did that all on your own. Don't put this on me." Phones were out. Cameras were rolling. Clips leaked online within hours, and the internet devoured every frame. Fans dissected Rasheeda's tone, Kirk's body language, even the reactions of people in the background. It was messy, it was dramatic, and it was exactly the kind of moment that made their story impossible to look away from. Still, through the chaos, one thing was becoming painfully clear. This wasn't just another fight, another rumor, another rough patch. This was different. This was final. And no matter how much Kirk tried to spin it, Rasheeda had already made her choice. The leaked footage from Rasheeda's business event spread like wildfire, igniting even more chaos online. Fans replayed the clip over and over, slowing it down, zooming in, analyzing every word that slipped from their mouths. Blogs ran headlines like, "Kirk crashes Rasheeda's event," and "Rasheeda finally snaps back." What was meant to be a celebration of Rasheeda's growing empire had been hijacked by her estranged husband's desperate attempt to cling on. And while the public was feasting on the spectacle, behind the scenes, emotions were boiling to a dangerous point. In the hours after the confrontation, Rasheeda reportedly broke down in the privacy of her office. Close friends said she collapsed into tears, confessing she couldn't take the constant cycle of humiliation anymore. "Every time I think I'm free, he drags me right back," she sobbed, wiping her face with trembling hands. "I can't let him ruin everything I've built." A confidant leaned in, urging her. "This is your time to stand tall, Rasheeda. People are behind you. Don't let him use your heart against you again." But Kirk, ever the strategist, wasn't ready to bow out. That same night, insiders revealed he showed up at their shared home, unannounced. The house was dark, Rasheeda refusing to answer the door. But Kirk pounded on it like a man refusing to be ignored. Neighbors heard the shouting. "Rasheeda, open up. We need to talk. You can't just erase me like this," he yelled, his voice echoing across the quiet neighborhood. When no response came, he allegedly sat in his car outside for hours, headlights glaring against the driveway like a silent warning that he wasn't going anywhere. Social media went into overdrive when fans began sharing cryptic posts from both sides. Rasheeda uploaded a black and white picture of herself with the caption, "Sometimes peace is louder than words." Kirk, on the other hand, posted a simple black screen with the words, "Everybody makes mistakes. But everybody deserves forgiveness." Fans immediately clashed in the comments. One user wrote, "Nah, Kirk. Forgiveness has limits. She gave you 1,000 chances." Another fired back, "Marriage ain't easy. Y'all just love seeing them fail." The division was as messy as the couple themselves. Things escalated even further when a bombshell interview dropped. One of Kirk's alleged mistresses, a woman identified only as T, went on a popular gossip podcast and spilled everything, sitting across from the host with her legs crossed and her voice trembling just enough to sound convincing. She claimed Kirk had promised her the world. "He told me I was the one he really loved," she said, wiping fake tears from her eyes. "He said he was trapped in a situation, that he and Rasheeda were just business partners now." The host leaned in, eyes wide with manufactured shock. "So you're saying he told you his marriage was over?" "Yes," T whispered. "But it was all lies. He was lying to me, too." The internet exploded. Fans didn't know whether to believe her or dismiss her as someone chasing clout, but either way, the damage was done. Rasheeda's name trended for 48 hours straight, with thousands of supporters flooding her comments with encouragement. "We got you, Queen," one wrote. "Leave that man and shine brighter." Others speculated that Rasheeda had known about this woman all along and that this interview was the final straw that pushed her to sign the papers. Meanwhile, Kirk's image sank lower than ever. Memes flooded Twitter, painting him as the villain of the century. One viral post showed a photo of him with the caption, "Cheating is Kirk's love language." Another meme compared Rasheeda to a queen breaking free from her chains. Fans couldn't get enough, but for Kirk, the ridicule stung. Sources close to him claimed he was furious, ranting to friends that these blogs don't know the whole story and swearing he was being set up. But then came a twist nobody saw coming. Kirk allegedly planned a grand gesture to win Rasheeda back. He arranged a surprise dinner at one of Atlanta's most exclusive restaurants, reserving the entire place just for her. Candles lined the tables, a violinist played in the corner, and Kirk waited in a tailored suit, rehearsing his plea. But when Rasheeda arrived, her face was cold as stone. The cameras weren't rolling, but witnesses who worked at the restaurant leaked every juicy detail afterward. Kirk tried to give this whole speech about how much he loved her, how they built an empire together. One waiter spilled online. But Rasheeda wasn't having it. She told him straight up, "You can't build an empire on lies, Kirk. I carried us both for too long. I deserve better." And then she walked out. The story spread like wildfire, with fans hailing Rasheeda as a queen reclaiming her power. The cracks in their marriage were now visible to the entire world. Even fellow love and hip-hop stars started chiming in. Some posted cryptic messages that fans interpreted as shade at Kirk, while others voiced their support for Rasheeda publicly. One castmate wrote on Instagram, "Sometimes walking away is the strongest thing you can do. Love, you sis." The solidarity only fueled speculation that Rasheeda's circle had turned completely against Kirk. Back at home, the tension thickened. Friends claimed Rasheeda packed up Kirk's belongings and placed them by the door, making it clear he was no longer welcome in the house. "I've lived in hell long enough," she reportedly muttered as she taped up boxes. But Kirk refused to accept it. "This ain't over, Rasheeda," he said, voice low but filled with warning. "You think you can just erase me like that? I'll fight for this family." The fight wasn't just emotional, it was financial. Rumors swirled that Kirk wanted a stake in the businesses Rasheeda had built, arguing that he had been a partner in her success from the start. Rasheeda, however, was ready to lawyer up. "He didn't build this. I did. Every dollar, every customer, every brick of this brand, I earned it, she allegedly told her legal team. Fans were outraged at the idea of Kirk trying to take what she had fought so hard for. Typical, one fan wrote. He breaks her heart and then wants her money too. As if the drama wasn't already at a fever pitch, whispers of another shocking revelation began circulating. A source close to the family claimed Kirk had been hiding yet another affair. One so scandalous it could tear the entire Harris household apart. Allegedly, this woman wasn't just someone Kirk met on the side, she had ties to the entertainment industry. And if her name came out, it could spark a media storm unlike anything they'd faced before. The uncertainty left fans breathless. Every day brought a new leak, a new rumor, a new piece of the puzzle that painted Kirk as the ultimate villain and Rasheeda as the heartbroken queen finally rising from the ashes. The divorce wasn't just paperwork anymore, it had become a spectacle. A storyline playing out in real time with millions watching, waiting, and choosing sides. And through it all, Rasheeda's silence spoke louder than words. She didn't rush to clap back online. She didn't feed the rumors. She let the chaos swirl around her while she focused on moving forward, her dignity intact. But Kirk's silence was different. It felt calculated, eerie, as if he was plotting his next move. Fans wondered, was he really going to let Rasheeda walk away? Or was the worst still to come? The whispers of Kirk's newest alleged affair grew louder with every passing day. And soon, they weren't just whispers anymore, they were full-blown allegations spilling across every gossip blog, every podcast, every messy Twitter thread. The woman in question hadn't revealed her identity, but insiders teased that she wasn't just some random fling. She was well-connected, known in the Atlanta nightlife scene, and had enough receipts to send Kirk's entire world crashing down. The question on everyone's lips, would she come forward, or would Kirk manage to silence her before the truth ripped him apart? Rasheeda, for her part, had heard enough. According to close friends, when the rumors landed on her phone, she didn't even flinch. This is who he is, she reportedly sighed, sliding her phone across the counter. Every time I think I've seen it all, he finds a new way to prove me wrong. Her exhaustion was palpable. Years of battles had left her drained. But this time, something was different. There was no fear, no hesitation. She had already signed the papers. She was free, at least on paper, but emotionally, the scars ran deep. But Kirk wasn't ready to go quietly. Insiders claimed he was working behind the scenes to discredit the mysterious woman, even threatening legal action if she spoke out. She's lying. She just wants clout, he allegedly told a friend, his tone equal parts defensive and panicked. Yet the receipts were undeniable. Screenshots of late-night texts, voice notes dripping with flirtation. Even hotel confirmations, allegedly tied back to his credit card, began leaking online. The internet lost its mind. Kirk couldn't stay faithful if his life depended on it, one fan tweeted. Rasheeda deserves sainthood at this point. Meanwhile, the Harris family began to fracture under the weight of it all. Rasheeda's mother, Charlene, doubled down on her public support for her daughter, even posting a pointed video on Instagram. When somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Don't waste your life waiting on somebody to change, she said, eyes blazing with conviction. Fans immediately flooded the comments with applause. But Kirk's allies were few and far between. Even his own friends reportedly urged him to take accountability, but Kirk, stubborn as ever, refused. Then came the twist that sent fans reeling. In an emotional sit-down with a close circle of friends, Rasheeda allegedly revealed that Kirk's new mistress wasn't just connected to the nightlife scene. She had ties to one of their mutual business ventures. Gasps filled the room. It meant Kirk's betrayal wasn't just personal. It was professional, too. He's willing to risk everything for what? For another secret fling? Rasheeda asked, her voice shaking with both anger and heartbreak. Her friends rallied around her, reminding her that she had the strength to weather this storm, but the betrayal cut deep. The fans picked up on every new leak, every small detail. Hashtags like hashtag RASHEED, A Strong and hashtag by Kirk trended for days. Supporters flooded her business with orders just to show her love, turning her heartbreak into a movement of empowerment. We're not just buying lip gloss, one fan wrote online. We're buying freedom for Rasheeda. The response was overwhelming, and Rasheeda leaned into it, using the moment to show resilience. But Kirk, he grew more bitter by the day, snapping at anyone who dared bring up the allegations. The tension finally boiled over during a family gathering, where Kirk and Rasheeda's children were present. Sources said the meeting was supposed to be about keeping things civil for the kids, but it quickly spiraled out of control. Kirk accused Rasheeda of turning the kids against him, while Rasheeda fired back, "You did that all by yourself. Don't you dare blame me for your mess." The children sat in stunned silence as their parents argued, the air thick with pain and betrayal. Witnesses described Rasheeda's tears as unstoppable, while Kirk's frustration reached a boiling point. And just when it seemed things couldn't get uglier, the mistress herself finally spoke out publicly. Appearing in a dimly lit Instagram Live, she confirmed everything fans had suspected. "Yes, I was with Kirk," she admitted, her voice trembling but steady. "And no, I didn't know the full extent of what I was getting into. He told me he and Rasheeda were done. He told me lies." The comments section exploded, thousands of fans flooding the Live with disbelief, anger, and support for Rasheeda. Within minutes, blogs reposted clips, and the internet was ablaze again. Rasheeda didn't respond immediately, but when she did, her words shook fans to their core. Posting a photo of herself standing tall, chin lifted high, she wrote, "When you finally realize your worth, you stop accepting discounts." The post garnered hundreds of thousands of likes, with celebrities, fellow castmates, and fans cheering her on. It was a mic drop moment, one that left Kirk scrambling to salvage whatever was left of his reputation. But Kirk wasn't just losing his marriage, he was losing control. Business partners began distancing themselves, deals reportedly fell through, and his name became synonymous with scandal. For a man who had once prided himself on being a businessman as much as a husband, the downfall was brutal. "He played himself," one associate allegedly said. "He thought he could have it all, Rasheeda the empire, and his side affairs, but in the end, he lost everything." The divide within the family grew sharper. Rasheeda's friends and relatives openly sided with her, refusing to entertain Kirk's pleas for understanding. Even some of his own acquaintances began to drift away, tired of the drama that followed him like a curse. Still, Kirk insisted he wasn't the monster the world painted him to be. "People only see one side," he said in a rare conversation with a friend. "They don't know the whole story." But by then, the world had made up its mind. And then, just as the storm seemed to reach its peak, a shocking document leaked allegedly Kirk's official response to the divorce filing. In it, he reportedly demanded a share of Rasheeda's businesses, citing years of partnership and investment. Fans were outraged. "The audacity," one wrote. "After everything he's done, he wants her money too." The backlash was swift, with many vowing to boycott anything associated with Kirk. Rasheeda, however, remained calm. Behind closed doors, she reportedly told her team, "Let him try. I'll fight tooth and nail for what's mine. He can't take my shine, no matter how hard he tries." Those words spread like wildfire once leaked, further cementing her image as the unbreakable queen standing tall despite the storm. But Kirk wasn't finished. He began hinting at a tell-all interview, claiming he would finally reveal the truth about his marriage. Fans braced themselves for more drama, knowing Kirk's version of the truth would likely be as messy as everything else he had done. Rasheeda, meanwhile, prepared herself for whatever came next, knowing this battle was far from over. And as the world watched, one question loomed large: had Kirk Harris finally burned the last bridge? Or was there still another shocking twist waiting to unravel? The announcement of Kirk's tell-all interviews sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Fans braced themselves, knowing his version of events would be laced with excuses, half-truths, and desperate attempts to reclaim sympathy. Blogs teased it as the confession that will change everything, while fans rolled their eyes, predicting nothing but more manipulation. Rasheeda, however, remained unbothered. Sources close to her said she laughed when she heard the news. "Let him talk," she reportedly told a friend. "The truth don't need defending, it speaks for itself." When the interview finally aired, Kirk sat in a dimly lit studio, his face set with a mix of regret and defiance. "I know I've made mistakes," he began, his voice low and heavy. "But people don't understand what it's like to live under that kind of spotlight. Every little thing I do gets magnified, twisted, turned against me." The host leaned forward, pushing him. "But Kirk, these aren't just rumors. These are affairs, children outside your marriage, business betrayals. Are you admitting to it all?" Kirk shifted uncomfortably, his hands clasped together. "I'm admitting I wasn't perfect. I let temptation get the best of me. But I never stopped loving Rasheeda. Not once. Everything I did, as wrong as it was, came from a place of me being lost, not from not loving her." His words dripped with calculated sorrow, but fans weren't buying it. Social media lit up in real time. Comments pouring in, "Lost. More like reckless. This man cheated for sport. He's only sorry now that she's done with him." The interview took an even darker turn when Kirk tried to frame himself as the victim. "People act like Rasheeda was perfect," he said, his tone sharpening, "but nobody talks about the ways she put business before family. How cold she could be. How sometimes I felt like just a paycheck instead of a husband." It was a dagger meant to shift blame, but instead it only enraged fans. Hashtags like #GaslightKirk and #deflecting again trended within minutes. One viral tweet summed it up. "Kirk admits to cheating 100 times. Also Kirk, but she made me do it." Rasheeda didn't immediately respond, but those close to her claimed she watched the interview quietly, shaking her head. "That's who he is," she whispered, almost to herself. Always rewriting the story to make himself the victim. But what she did next turned the tide completely in her favor. Days later, she sat down for her own exclusive interview, bitter, not defensive, but raw and honest in a way fans had never seen before. Her voice cracked as she spoke. "I gave everything to that marriage," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I fought for him, I forgave him, I stood by him when the whole world told me not to. And in the end, it still wasn't enough. Because, when somebody doesn't respect you, no amount of love can change that." Fans sobbed right along with her, flooding the internet with messages of love and support. It was the moment everyone had been waiting for, the moment Rasheeda reclaimed her story. The impact was seismic. Her interview went viral, garnering millions of views within hours. Celebrities reposted clips with captions like, "Protect Rasheeda at all costs," and fans declared her the ultimate survivor. Kirk, meanwhile, became the punchline of every joke. Memes of him crying in the interview chair circulated endlessly, paired with captions like, "When you realize your last pass has expired." His reputation was in tatters, and no amount of damage control could patch it back together. But the real drama wasn't on TV or social media, was in the courtroom. When Kirk officially filed his counterclaim demanding a share of Rasheeda's businesses, things got ugly. Rasheeda's lawyers came prepared with receipts, detailing how she had built her empire long before Kirk's involvement, proving that every major decision, every investment, every ounce of sweat equity came from her. The judge reportedly sided with her, leaving Kirk with little more than the clothes on his back and the shattered remnants of his reputation. In that moment, the power dynamic shifted forever. Rasheeda wasn't just a wife leaving a toxic marriage, she was a queen reclaiming her throne. Fans celebrated outside the courthouse, chanting her name as if she had just won a championship. "This isn't just about Rasheeda," one fan shouted to cameras. "This is about every woman who ever gave too many chances. She's showing us all how to walk away." Kirk, on the other hand, slinked out of the courthouse with his head down, photographers capturing every angle of his defeat. The man who once strutted through Atlanta like he owned it all was now a cautionary tale. A symbol of arrogance brought down by his own actions. Still, even in his lowest moment, insiders claimed he muttered under his breath, "She missed me. They always do." It was the kind of line that made fans roll their eyes and solidified his role as the villain in this never-ending saga. Back home, Rasheeda began the process of rebuilding not her brand, because that was thriving more than ever, but her peace. Friends said her home was filled with laughter again, her children relieved to finally see their mother happy. "The weight is gone," one friend said. "She's glowing in a way she hasn't in years." Photos of Rasheeda smiling, traveling, and thriving without Kirk flooded her Instagram. Each one met with cheers from fans who had watched her journey for over a decade. And then came the ultimate twist, not from Kirk, but from Rasheeda herself. In a heartfelt message to her fans, she thanked them for standing by her and announced that she was channeling all her pain into a new project, a memoir. "I want to tell my story in my own words," she wrote. "Not just the heartbreak, but the lessons, the resilience, the strength I didn't know I had." Fans erupted with excitement, ready to hear the unfiltered truth straight from the source. The buzz was so strong that publishing houses reportedly began bidding wars for the rights, with offers in the millions. As for Kirk, the offers dried up. No book deals, no speaking engagements, no sympathy tours. His name became toxic, his phone stopped ringing, and his once inflated ego deflated into bitter silence. Still, some insiders whispered that he was plotting a comeback, that he couldn't stand living in Rasheeda's shadow forever. But fans weren't interested. For them, the story had already been written. Rasheeda won, Kirk lost, and the chapter was closed. The final act of their saga came not with a fight, but with a signature. The divorce was finalized, stamped by the court, and Rasheeda walked away free. No longer Kirk and Rasheeda, just Rasheeda, an independent woman, a business mogul, and a survivor of one of reality TV's messiest marriages. Fans celebrated online with hashtags like #divorced and thrive and #long live the queen, solidifying her as more than just a reality star. She was a cultural icon of resilience. And though the drama had ended in the courts, one truth lingered in the air. The story of Kirk and Rasheeda would forever be remembered as one of the most explosive, scandalous, and unforgettable sagas in love and hip-hop history. And there you have it. After years of chaos, betrayals, rumors, and public humiliation, the saga of Kirk and Rasheeda has come to an end. Divorce finalized. Papers signed. The chapter closed forever. Fans are calling it the end of an era, while others are celebrating Rasheeda's glow as the ultimate victory of strength over heartbreak. From the late-night arguments to the shocking interviews, from the mistresses stepping forward to the explosive courtroom battles, this story had it all: pain, betrayal, resilience, and finally, freedom. But even with the ink dry on the divorce papers, the questions won't stop swirling. Will Kirk really fade into the shadows, or will he try to claw his way back with another scandalous stunt? Can Rasheeda's peace truly last now that she's free? Or will the ghosts of her past try to haunt her future? And most importantly, will the world ever see these two in the same room again? Or is this the true and final end of one of reality TV's messiest love stories? One thing is clear: fans are not done talking. Social media is on fire, the streets are buzzing, and the legacy of Kirk and Rasheeda's marriage will live on as a cautionary tale for anyone who dares to mix love, fame, and betrayal under the spotlight. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Rasheeda will finally find the peace and happiness she deserves? Or do you believe Kirk will pull one last shocking move to win her back? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I'll be reading them all. And if you're as hooked on this drama as we are, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss the next explosive story. Trust me, you won't want to.